Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. I'm still continuing with the Beals deck, but I want to show off this deck that my opponent's using. Obviously, it's a custom duel. It's not something you see on a regular. It's going to be his cute maiden deck. So let us fast forward. His turn, oh my god, is really long. I'm going to be honest right now, it's going to be really long. As much as I want to explain the cards, it's going to be way too long. It's just too much text to read. Again, with all these card effects, who do you even bother reading everything when all that matters is focus on their cards? I just focus on my own cards. So it's be real. So, but either way, I'm just gonna show you what the card says. I'm not gonna explain everything. I hope it doesn't take too long. Cute maiden, Ijima Renka. I'm just curious if this is based off like actual anime, or he just made these names up. Who knows? I hope they're unique though. I don't want these cute anime girls to be based off some anime that people are very familiar with, so because it takes away the innovation. I was hoping for something like creative, something unimaginable, especially something that people can be fond of besides just thinking of a like archetype that someone made based off their favorite show, because it kind of ruins it for me. So because it doesn't make the archetype seem any special. Even though I made a Black Saiyan archetype, but it does not correlate with Dragon Ball Z because those characters never existed in the Dragon Ball Z series. I just made it as if they were their own like race. So, but he searched the cute puppy. All right, the rainbow puppy. So he could have made it. He could have tried to find. He or she could have just tried to find one that's animated. But it looks like someone just put on a filter on the dog, as if it would make the card look interesting, but it's not. The rainbow is fine, the color is fine, but it doesn't match with the actual Yu-Gi-Oh card, in my opinion. It doesn't look like a legit card. Like, you could say for my cards, yeah, they don't look like legit Yu cards. They look like came from Magic the Gathering, but the artwork looks like it like it matches with the cards I make combined. Like if you see these cards together, they look like they outright match with each other, as if they were made for each other. Let's be real. So his cards do, but I'm just wondering if it's based on an actual anime, because I feel like it is. Like, who knows? He probably just changed the wording of the naming and stuff. Didn't put out their actual names. Just made an arc based off cute maidens, without having to mention their names at all from a certain anime. And he did caps. He did put caps on all his words. He capitalized all his words because in Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't really see that with the text, except if it's specifically trying to define the card. Whether it's link, fusion, whatever, or name archetype, or you say from your deck or whatever. So, but the only time you ever put a caps lock on a word, unless it's supposed to specify the card or the summoning or the archetype name, whatever. So, yeah, I'll be honest, it's gonna take a little long. So, I was even surprised I managed to overcome this. I didn't cheat or anything. I played it out as if how I should. Maybe it's because he didn't have that many disruptions. That could just be me, or he could maybe the deck itself is just too strong. Who knows? But it doesn't really seem to need that many changes. All right, he's gonna play Starlight Cute Maiden. I'll tell him go ahead, sure. Whew, big bash from the sand. And he adds one, I assume. Okay. It is a continuous. All right. So I'm just waiting on my opponent right now. So I honestly might limit some cards from this deck. Who knows? But I'm just waiting for my opponent. And for those who aren't aware, you can actually give your deck. You can actually make a legal ban list. You can literally hit semi-limit ban unlimit your cards. But specifically semi-limit, limit, or ban your cards. Uh, so it's funny that like the dueling book provides that. Considering it's usually Konami that provides a ban list, but they let dueling book have its own ban list for custom duels. But it's funny because I don't know, like I don't know anybody that would decide to hit their own cards that they made. Especially if they can decide to make it for themselves only, specifically for themselves. But it would be kind of weird because like since there would there even a point of being would there even be a point in banning your own card? Especially since you're the one that's using you specifically made that archetype for yourself and others for others to share as well. I like to share my ideas honestly, so I wouldn't be ashamed if someone used my custom cards because that's what is the point of actually making these cards if you're not letting people like spread word, spread awareness, and actually give heads up in what this deck is capable of. The whole point is so people can actually be impressed with your work. So that's the reason I made it so that everyone has access to it. I even let people know on my channel too that they can use those cards as well. Because it'd be weird if I was the only one using it because it just seems it just like I want to see from my perspective how we would do in the duel as well. So it would be nice if someone would use the cards I created in a duel against me. So if I notice anything wrong, maybe I can make some changes. Or I could just maybe I'm overthinking things, and it should remain the way it is. Because I personally don't believe decks should be destroyed by ban lists, unless there are certain hits that have to happen in order for the deck not to be oppressive. So from here on out, it looks like she's discarding another card. I'm wondering what she's doing after discard. I assume strong two. Okay. Oh, okay. It's one of the trading spells. It has a trading effect. My bad. All right. That's cool. But like I said, this turn's gonna be very long, so I don't know if it's he or she. Either way, let's continue. I assume lets you special summon. It's funny she mentions Access Code Talker, like as if Access Code Talker relates to Archetype. That's not really the case though. But let's forget about that. Yeah, already summoning as many cute maidens from the grave as many as possible. That in itself would be a card to get hit. That should get possibly banned or limited. Who knows? Unless there's something I'm not aware of. So overall, just a degenerate card. Let's be real. But I'll let him do him, so or I'll let her do her. Alright. She goes for another just outright like loads of link summons. Even though my deck I can't say is any better, but geez. One card lets you link summon multiple times. That in itself is hella broken. Jeez. I guess that's why she's called Tri Waifu because it lets you summon as much as possible. And hopefully potentially link summon triple the amount after you link summon to her, so but it looks like he's not done yet. Well, which I'm pretty. She's not done yet because I'm waiting what her next monster is gonna be. Hopefully, it's her last. So already by now, she's gonna set 3, 4, and pass. That's fine. Okay, cool. All right, my turn finally. Main phase. Gonna activate Crimson Beals. I'm trying to bait him to negate. I'm gonna use search my Nightcrawler as well as Mantis Paladin. What will be in the next play? My mistake, I misclicked. I was supposed to play Beal setting. So I discard my non-tuner monster from hand. I activate, it lets me activate a Beal spell from my deck, which is going to be Beelzebub's Nest. So I'm going to be able to special summon Parasite Beelzebub from my deck. And then I'm allowed to special summon a tuner a tuner from a hand or grave thanks to Beal setting. And he mentions my YouTube shop. Ask him or ask her what is the name of my YouTube channel if because she does mention custom cards. Well, it's obvious, which we're having right now, is a custom duel. But I'm trying to figure how he or she even figured about my YouTube channel. In response, I'm allowed to search for Parasect Beelzebub or Beel's monster from my graveyard. That's a non-tuner. Or Dark Insect, sorry. My god. Dark Insect Tuner. Because I control our Dark Insect Tuner, I can spell some Mad Paladin. His effect activates, allowing me to search a Beel's card from my deck to my hand. Send Giant Centipede's effect activates. Attribute one Beel's monster from hand or field. I draw 2 cards. Then I'll activate Terraforming to add another Beelzebub's Nest just in case. I'll use Nightcrawler's effect, targeting Giant Centipede. Same process. Discard a Beel's from my hand or field. Draw 2 cards. And I'm using Lower Darkness to draw 2. I banish 1 from my hand. So waiting on the next play. Alright, I'm gonna sink for 5. And then I'm gonna summon Battle Drones as a control tuner, which is relevant. And Beelzebub Approach, if you're aware, allows me to summon Beel's monster from my hand by paying 300 life points and I draw a card. And I'm gonna go into Synchro 8. But in response, my opponent's gonna activate Heartwarming Moment, which will banish my level 8 Synchro monster, and it's banished face down. That's fine by me. So, all right. So I asked them about my YouTube channel. So she's he or she's multitasking. They're currently watching one of my YouTube videos while having this duel. But she didn't even name the channel of my. He or she didn't even name the channel of my YouTube channel. Didn't name my YouTube channel. Like seriously, as if he or she's guessing. Or just trying to make me guess. Already some Paramount spell, so it's not possible to do it again. All right. Aggravon's effect activates. I'm going to go into a level 12 Synchro monster, which I'm capable of summoning. And I'm using one of their graveyard effects. So the one I banished was Kamikari, allowing me to go into Archfiend Abyss, and I'm using Aggravon's effect, Govern, to go into Bestial Despatter, allowing me to go into Arc Dragon, which is level 11 Synchro monster. And I'm going to activate Beelzebub Post. I'm thinking what to do with Beelzebub Post. I pay 800 life points. I retrieve Beel's setting from my graveyard to hand. Then I'm use Archdragon's effect. Depending on the number of face-up spell trap cards I control, I banish monsters from my hand, field, or graveyard, and I get to banish that many cards my opponent controls. And it's non-targeting. So he's gonna Imperm. His Imperm resolves, negating Archdragon's effect, and he can actually leave the field by card effect. So I'm just gonna go ahead attack. Cool. That's fine. Alright. That's fine by me, so continue. Already it's gonna be a very long duel, so you could tell. Want to get to it as quickly as possible. And you're aware by his effect. Just letting you know, so. So you can use Pandemic's Dragon's effect, just to be aware, you guys. Yep, he's going to be taking a lot of damage, so. Pandemic Dragon's effect activates. Just fine by me. Archfiend Abyss. I forgot that apparently his monster had more attack than my Archfiend Abyss because of his continued spell as well as field spell, so I'm like, sure, let him destroy it. I don't even mind, so. Set 3, pass, and phase Nest effect. Turn 3 dark monsters up to 3 up to 3 of my banished dark monsters to my graveyard, and I'll be like, cool, I'm gonna end my turn now. Then main phase, Beelzebub Wrath just in case something happens. Alright, cool. That's fine by me, so. I'm thinking whether I should restrict one of my cards, to be honest. Alright. That's fine, he can use this Sasaki Ran's effect. Q Maiden. That's fine. I'm waiting what he's gonna do right now. So just in the meantime, activate approach. Give me an extra search. That's fine. Waiting what's gonna happen next. So honestly, I'll be honest. I think my deck is hella broken. Just in its own right, it is OP in its own right. I even said, I'll be honest. Yes, it is because like, when have you guys seen insects being meta? Honestly, so he's gonna play Raigeki. I'll say sure. I'm protect my Arc Dragon just in case. But I gotta pay 500. Pandemic's Dragon's effect will activate, sending all his cards to the graveyard. He'll play Lightning Storm. Cool. But apparently I was stupid. I forgot that Arc Dragon actually protects my spell trap cards. But either way, I was dumb enough not to read my own monster's effect. But I was like, sure, let it happen. May have to nerf Arc Dragon's effect, honestly. But then I'll use Beal's settings effect, allowing me to summon the Nightcrawler. Arc Dragon's effect activates. The reason I even gave it a very powerful effect for a level 11 synchro, it is. I feel I'd imagine how hard it is to summon this guy. It does require one Dark Tuner as well as one or more Synchro non-tuner monster. So in its own right, it has to have a powerful effect for it to be useful, and for especially the summoning conditions aren't that easy. All right, Parasect Beelzebub, Nightcrawler, go ahead. Just like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon requires one tuner as well as one or more non-tuner synchro monster. He's essentially the most powerful synchro monster because whenever he battles, it's like once per even if I feel like it's once per turn. He gains that monster attack until the end of the battle phase, or it's like until the end of the turn. And not only that, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate and that monster effect destroy. If you do, he gains the attack equal to the monster destroyed by that effect. So, what's to say this card is any worse? But it all depends on spell traps. So it's like that are face up. So I try to give it its own restriction, but give me a moment. Also, yeah. Let's fast forward here. All right, cool. Go ahead. Discard two. He's gonna discard two. It's for some Shiozaki Suzumi. And the reason why I make these cards broken is because I know I'm aware my opponents are gonna make hella broken cards that are just gonna outright try to outclass the opponent as much as possible. I'm referring to me as the opponent. So they'll make cards that'll try to outclass any opponent just in case. So I want something that can counter those decks. If they're gonna make something broken, I might as well do the same. It's a it's either one way or the other. If you make something broken, someone's gonna try to do the same thing so that those cards in itself can be beat. So that it's just like tier limits. If and the Shizus, tier Shizu, like if there's no way of stopping that deck, the banners will do something about it. And they did by actually limiting almost every card from those archetypes. And I'm referring to the main monsters that have effects that are way too similar as well as hell that are extremely degenerate. And you see the loops. When you make cards with similar effects that are degenerate, then that in itself makes the archetype in itself really broken and hard to actually counter because like just too many similar cards out there just have way too many power effects alone. That are those cards in itself make the archetype broken in itself, making that there needs to be a way to put the deck in check, but to ensure that it can be played. So if too many of them the monsters have effects that are similar but in itself are degenerate and are a problem, then it's like they're kind of forced to actually hit the majority of the cards, ensure that a lot of decks have a chance of actually competing and that it doesn't become like a severe issue throughout later duels in the future for Yu-Gi-Oh. Alright. So yeah, that's my opinion. It's great and interesting, but in itself really confusing effects. Too much card text. So not that I can speak for myself either. So I'm confused. I'm not gonna read these cards, but I'm just gonna show you guys because I'm not gonna just make him. Just reading these cards, reading my opponent's cards just making me even more exhausted. So I want to keep my eyes. I'm just here to keep my eyes open so I can explain what's going on, give you tips, as well as help you guys enjoy the duel. That's what I'm there for. So also, you guys feel free to send me a comment if any of these cards are from a anime that I'm not aware about, because I don't know if he made this up or if he just took the names from these names from these girls that appear in certain animes that I don't watch. So I don't have to go through the trouble of actually doing some random research in case I'm missing something here. So, but I'm not gonna think too hard on this. But if I were to find out, someone could tell me. Who knows? So I either look it up, just maybe watch some anime, find some clips, and maybe I can compare the two. So, alright. So all I know is only link summoning. So can he go past link force? We'll wait to find out. Sooner or later, he's gonna have to break my board. So he's gonna discard something, I assume, to return up to 2 of my cards. But it's only gonna affect Nightcrawler. It doesn't affect Arcdragon. I'm like, cool, sure, that's fine. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to nerf Arcdragon's effect, honestly. Maybe give him Rata, but I'm not. I'm 100% against Rata. So then I'm activate Beal setting. This is where things get very interesting. With Beal setting, has a very useful effect. Very defensive card, as you can see what's got right now. So before he summons anything else, I'm going to use Beal setting, banishing itself as well as a Dark Insect, which happens to be Giant Centipede. I gain life equal to the combined attack points of his monsters, my opponent's monsters, and then I take no damage for the rest of the turn. So I'm just about to get a huge, massive amount of life points. So this is for whenever the opponent decides to overextend. This is basically my own spooky dogwood card, but for insects only, as well as dark dragons. Either way, just enough to like keep me going. So even though that in itself is a really broken card, this ensure that my opponent doesn't just outright sweep my life points with these. And helps me. It'll 100% it'll 100% be prepared for the next for my opponent's next turn. So if they attempt to kill me on their turn again, they're gonna have to wait another turn before they can do anything unless I break hard or if they already have disruptions that can like pursue the cards I already have in hand, like you see right now. So again, it's gonna be a long duel. So let's get straight to the point. Beelzebub's Nest activates, special summoning Giant Centipede. Giant Centipede lets me retrieve a non-tuner from my grave, which happens to be a dark insect. Then I'm gonna summon Mantis Paladin. That's the first thing I'll do right now. It's very important. Alright. Giant Centipede, same thing. Discard Tribute of Beals from hand to field. Draw 2 cards. Then I'm gonna go sink for 8. And this should be game at this point. This is already game, so. Alright. And this is where he admits defeat. I like how he took it like a G. He was willing to accept and admit when especially when you know you've lost and you see the outcome of this duel, and you realize the circumstance, and you're just there to test your cards. You learn from it. That's what makes the duel that much more appreciated to watch. And since this duel has been going way too long, I was gonna do a rematch, but saying it's a little late for me. So, but overall, there will be more content. I'm sure you're aware because I've been telling you guys throughout in my past, and I can't really seem to think whether I should quit making content. But there are times where I'd have to like have my own break, schedule my vacation, and just ease on making videos constantly. Because it's been daily that I've been doing this, but I feel like once my ideas come up, I start brainstorming. I feel like I don't want to forget what I was just thinking because I feel like if I do, it's gonna ruin an opportunity for me. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.